Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's the radioactive pop with Danny Limelight, United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance blog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from Poppy.
Can you believe that there are some people in this world that did not tune in to the Alliance Blog podcast? Shame on you! Shame on you! My name is Ella Indy, and I'm one half of the NWA Women's World Tag Team Champion. And I'm Kiki Page, the other half of the NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion. And you better go listen to the Alliance Blog. What is it called again? Podcast. Period. Or you're ugly. Period. Pre-empowered. Approved.
This is David Goldie, the World Wrestling Grand Prix Champion, and you're listening to the Alliance Guys Podcast.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Alliance Blog Podcast, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is Jay Cal, and with me today, I have been afforded the opportunity. Thank you to Dr. Lawrence Zirconium. Thank you to Jaden. Thank you to Jim Molinall from Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators for setting up this opportunity to speak to the hustler, the man, the myth. He's making his return to Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. That is the hustler, Deget Bundlez.
Ooh, salute.
What is
it? Why go on, rude boy?
Man, I'm seeing some gold back there. What do we got back there?
Yeah, man, that's the mega pro wrestling one half of the tag team champions with my partner Eric Darkstorm, elusive one Eric Darkstorm. You know, this is Dark Clouds.
Yeah.
And this over here is my girlfriend too. So we like, threesome. That's my mega pro heavyweight championship right there, bub.
So you got belts that you earn. I got belts that I bought. I mean, that's you win on this one. But
hey, but I got a belt that I bought. I got the spinner belt. WWE
oh, you do?
Yeah. It's up in the room, bub.
So let me show you my collection real quick. I got NWA Dome Globe right here.
Nice.
Right here next to me, the NWA television title, the superior one with the red strap.
I got a story about the red joint.
We're gonna talk about that in just a minute. I got Big Goldie back here.
I see. That's that Ric Flair, that Ricky Steamboat.
See, And then I got the World Class 6-Man tag. And then behind me right here.
That's what wrestling is failing with. That 6-man tag championship. That used to be the joint back in the day.
Well, because back in the day, you had really good stables and partnerships. I mean,
yeah, man.
I watch AEW. I'm not a hardcore AEW fan, but they have the trios titles, and it's not the same, man. Not like the Freebirds and the Von Erichs or back in the day.
Not like that.
You put in
the Wrecking Crew.
There you go. Or even like the makeshift tag team of Dusty and the Legion of Doom. That was wow.
Listen, man. I give myself a own Road Warrior pop when I hear their name, man.
There it is.
Them dudes, they one of the reasons that I got into wrestling, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to kick it.
See, that was
Road Warriors, bro. I ain't gonna jump the gun though, but I'm just saying.
That was on the list of questions to ask. I mean,
I know. That's why I said I'm not gonna jump the pistol. Yeah, I got a trigger finger. It's itchy.
Well, you know what we call that is we call that pent up promo material. You're just ready to go, and that's all good because at the core of wrestling, right? You didn't grow up and say I want to be a wrestler without ever watching it. You were a fan first, I'm assuming.
Facts.
And you're talking about LOD. You're talking about the Road Warriors. You're talking about. I mean, that's my era.
Yeah, man.
And I think I might be a little bit older than you. I'm going to be 46 in November, so I think I got some age on you. But
hey, man, you still mobile? What's old?
No, I got.
You're not old until you come immobilized.
I got into the gym today, and I was doing some bench, and I was doing some legs. I'm not you, but I'm working towards it. That's my goal. I'm trying to get
nothing wrong with that as long as you're working, baby. That's all that matters.
So let's talk about so. If you're a Road Warrior guy, then that means you grew up with Jim Crockett Promotions. You're watching the NWA.
Yeah.
That's my wheelhouse. So let's talk about the NWA for a minute because I just showed you I got a lot of NWA titles here in the chat.
Yeah.
And these guys are I want to get to your red TV title story here in a minute, but
Mhm.
you know, the 10 pounds of gold, that title to me was always synonymous with just excellence. You know, you look at Ric Flair and from like 86, right? You're with the Dome Globe before you got to big gold. I mean, you still had like Dusty Rhodes and you had I'm blanking on all the names right now. You got Tommy Wildfire Rich, you got Harley Race, you've got Dory Funk and Terry Funk, and I mean
Dory, the Funk brothers.
These are the guys I think that really ushered in that era of wrestling. In that, you know, I think we're entering a real boom in the business right now, but I think in those early 80s, I think they really launched it. And, you know, everything that the WWE did was great, but man, that Jim Crockett Promotions back in the day, man, that NWA.
Jim let you be yourself, man. Yeah, I mean, even though he had control, but he let you be yourself, and that's what the game missing is the reality of things. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
We was growing up watching it. The reality was like, dang. Like Piper, for instance, when it went upside, snook her head with the coconut. Yeah, you know I mean,
what about when he broke the bottle over his own head right there in the Mid-Atlantic? He just took the bottle of beer, smash. I mean, Piper was unhinged, but he look. I'm gonna tell you this. I got 3 daughters, right? The youngest one, the Spitfire, her name is Piper. That's how much I like that guy.
Right.
So you got the Hennessy and everything, man. You're having a good time.
Son, it ain't no party without the yak around.
All right.
You know, buns around, there's going to be some brown around.
There it is. So then let's talk a little bit more about your fandom. Like, how old were you when you started watching? What and you said the Road Warriors popped you.
I was single digits. I was a jet. I'm going to use a Florida terminology. I was a jet.
Okay.
Yeah.
You was a youngin'.
Yeah, man. And I owe it all to my grandpops, may R.I.P. But granddad got me in because I tell this story every time I'm on an interview, and it never changes because it's a true story. You know, when you go to your grandparents and granddad watches something, you ain't touching nothing. You sitting there and watching TV. Whatever granddad watching, you're watching. And my grandfather was a huge sports fanatic. You know what I'm saying? He a huge Buffalo Bills fan, Buffalo Sabres fan, and Yankee fan, and a huge wrestling fan. So it was dope, man. You know, when they had the babysitter watches, and pops had to go do something. We had grandma's house, granddad watching wrestling, and we sat right there watching, me and my little cousins, Matt, Hermione, and them. And we just sat there and watching, and we get done watching it on Saturday or whatever. We go right outside in grandma's yard, right in the front, and go out there and do our own gimmick. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
My cousin Matt used to make our championship belts out of cardboard boxes.
Nice.
Carve them out, get the aluminum foil and wrap them up, and get a Sharpie, a marker and write what championship it was there.
We used to collect the little muscles, the little pink guys, you know, the little rubber pink guys.
Just stuck in one pose.
Yeah, but they had a belt, right? And it was like I was a fat kid, so it barely fit on me, right? But I wear that shit like I'm champ, and then my brother would beat my ass. But that's a different story.
You remember that before we got into you remember that our before we started making ours, but remember that 6-inch Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Still had the plastic belt that went with him. The first championship belt. Yeah, that was our championship belt at the time too. We used to wrestle for that. Had that little long little plastic strap, just throw it over the shoulder. About this big on the shoulder.
And that was the old belt where it was like I think originally
it was supposed from Iron Sheik.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like green, but I think in the package it was black or brown.
Yeah.
Exactly. I remember that one. That was a good belt. You know, I mean, Wing Eagle's always going to be a favorite, but that was a good looking belt.
Right.
So was it just NWA, or were you watching WWF at the time, or what?
Oh, I was watching NWA, WWF, Smoky Mountain.
Okay.
I was just watching wrestling, bro. You know what I'm saying? At the time, you ain't learning psychology. And you just see these guys out here, these big brolic dudes. You know what brolic mean? I mean, you from New Jersey, so you know what brolic mean.
Oh, no, man. See, I'm in Southern California.
Oh, west side of this motherfucker right here.
I'm in SoCal. I've been lucky to go out to Jersey. I was at one of the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiator events in the Glassboro Fitness Center, and I've been to Philly for the NWA.
Yeah,
but I'm a West Coast.
I love that fitness center that Lawrence used to have out there, man.
It's gone now, but that place was pretty.
Nice.
Like I got to go to the last event there, and it was very, very nice.
Yeah. Brolic mean big in New York.
Okay.
That's the word we use in New York. Brolic. I'm brolic, getting my swole on. But that's when you're young, that's all you see is these big dudes and out here doing this. So you don't know if it's fugazi or if it's solid. You know what I'm saying? But you just drawn to it. But then, as we say, the reality is missing. The reality was to give you this image of this dude really bossing them down before you end up getting before you know the psychology, before you really know what you know. You dig? So it's like that's the stuff that kept me amped, looking forward to next week. Just like I said about when Piper hit Snooker with the coconut on Piper's Pit. I'm like, dang, he just snuffed him with a coconut. So now we about to say, I can't wait to see what's gonna go on next week. What type of promo? What Snooker gonna say? Snooker came with a bandage on his head, looking crazy and stuff. Yeah, that's what wrestling missing. That right there. That right there.
And then all that brought in Mr. T into it, right? Like Hogan and Mr. T. Piper, Orton,
Hogan, and Mr. T versus I think it was Cowboy Bob Orton and Roddy Piper at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Liberace sung the anthem.
Liberace, but that's it's funny because you think back, like I think when you think of the WWE, like they've always had those stars come into the show, whether it be Liberace doing the national anthem or
Aretha Franklin.
And even like later in time, like Lawrence Taylor stepping into the ring against Bam Bam Bigelow.
I remember that.
Lawrence Taylor.
But that's the stuff that made you fiend for like a crack for fiend. You know what I mean? A fiend for track. Excuse me. I'm my dyslexic kicked in for a minute. But that's what was driven. Now it's like because you've been watching wrestling for so long, it's like prone to you just to go watch it. Now, as you said, it started out as a fan, but when I got into the business, I had to pull the fan side out of me and become this worker, become this artist, and everything. So that's what the game is missing. Them type of storylines, man. I mean, you drawn to it because you've been watching it for so long, but are you really in depth with it? Are you really looking forward to next week?
As a fan myself, like, and I've been on and off with like the WWE. I watch all the NWA I can, and that's probably to my own detriment. It's not what it was. there's still good stuff about it.
It's not because, like you said, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Magnum TA, and them type of characters is not in the industry anymore like that. You don't get that type of reality, that realness coming out of the artists. It's like everything is, scripted, worded. But them dudes, when they cut them promos, calling it off the fly, it was real.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It wasn't okay, we need you to say this, and then you take what you need and make it your own. Them dudes went up in there and did what they had to do and say what they had to say and give a 2 cents rabbit ass how you felt about it. Yeah, I mean?
I don't think, no one was giving Ric Flair notes when he came out there with his Rolex and his Gucci shoes and that nice suit.
And the Gators is hard to hold down.
So yeah, that was a dynamic time in wrestling, and you're right. It's not like that today. I will say that there's some acts that keep me like invested, but not like it was. That's for sure.
Back then, each character that came on that square tube kept you drawn to what they was doing and what was popping the following week, man. It's like
so little when you were little to get like who were your guys? Who were you watching? Who were the guys that you wanted to emulate or at least go out in the backyard in grandma's backyard, front yard and do their moves?
Doom, Demolition, the Heart Foundation, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, Tito Santana with the flying burrito.
So me and my brother used to call that the flying burrito before we ever heard Jesse Ventura call it that.
Yeah.
You jump and dive, and we're like, "That's a flying burrito." And then Jesse started.
That's what's up. George the Animal Steel, and even though he ran a hell of a gimmick, it was just the fact. Green tongue. But what really got me was when he used to eat the turnbuckles and rip them apart. And throw the stuffing out. That was one of my things to get to a wrestling show and try to catch the stuffing of a WWF turnbuckle cushion. But George the Animal Steel came out and ripped it.
Nobody's doing that these days, that's for sure.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I'm from the old school, so what's old is new. And when I go display, they're like, "Well, dang, he a good hit." Yeah, because I learned from the greatest.
So at what point did you go from being a fan to like saying, "Hey, you know what? I think I want to try this. I think I want to do this. This is my calling."
I always wanted to do it, but at the time I was when I got involved, I was down in West Virginia. But the crazy thing is how I got introduced to be able to get in the train, to get in the shows, to get to the business. There's this character named Don West out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, and he ran All Pro Wrestling Alliance, APWA, out of Shiston, West Virginia. So I was opening up. You know who Nappy Roots is? The hip hop artist group, Nappy Roots. Yeah. I had an opening set. They asked me. They got in contact with me and asked me to open up set for them and everything. So I opened up for Nappy Roots and everything, and not knowing that promoter was there. So after we got done performing, I had VIP section. We go upstairs to the VIP, and the promoter come up. Well, when I got off, he put me to the side. He made his way to me and asked if we could talk to him. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going up to VIP to chill. You could come up and we could kick it up there." So when he came up there, he asked, "You ever thought about wrestling?" I said, "Hell yeah, I thought about wrestling. I just didn't know where to get in at it at." You know what I mean? He said, "Well, I own a company and I got a training school, but you have to go to Shiston, West Virginia," which was like at the time where I was at in Parkersburg, the joint was like an hour and a half away. And but when he told me, he like, "Yo, I put you in the school, get you trained, and I have shows like this." He was telling me how he runs shows, this and the third. And he broke me in the business. Now I want to break his bones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's another day's story. But that's how I broke into the business down in West Virginia, and then got in there. And so at the time, I was playing semi-pro football for a farm team for the New York Jets. So I was already a two-time champion and working in my third season to get my third championship. But at the same time, it got to a point where I got dedicated to the squared circle and started fading away from the turf, and got me in there and broke me in the business and everything. So like football wise, I'm a 3-time semi-pro champion, two all-star rings and a Life Bowl ring. So I made my screams on the field, also, but I was transitioning from the field to the ring. And when I got in the ring, football, I miss it, but wrestling took over that.
Yeah, I get that. Like, you kind of replace one with the other, and when you put everything into it, it becomes everything.
Yeah, but if I would have went to the ring first, football wouldn't even came about. You know what I'm saying? So I would have been strictly wrestling. So when I told them, because they wanted me to come back, when they tried to renegotiate my contract, I'm like, "Nah, I'm out of here, bub. I'm dead my dude. It's time to get it in with the squared circle."
It's kind of a full circle moment here for me because we've been covering the NWA for a very, very long time.
Right on.
And you mentioned Don West, and I actually have a little bit of a story with him because
Darren West?
not well, and he didn't like me. He didn't like me.
I don't like him.
Well, that's probably for the best. He was pushing Onyx, and he wanted Onyx to get.
That's how I broke it. Wow, that's crazy. That was my tag partner.
And Onyx, great dude, and
Great dude. Love Onyx.
He was Brawlic. There you go. I'm gonna start using that Brawlic. And he's like, well, bro, he said Onyx should be NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I'm like, well, that's not my decision to make. I'm just a fan, I'm just covering the sport. And he was not happy with how I wasn't pushing his guy and called me a few choice words. I'm still blocked on Facebook. As you were talking, I went to look.
Man, he need to block himself. Put it like that. He need to block himself because on any given moment, gorilla smack on sight.
I didn't know it was that bad, and we don't need to get into it if you don't want to.
We ain't, because I really don't care. Hey, screw down West, man. I said it. I tell him to his face.
Well, like I said, I never actually met him, but he wasn't. He had choice.
Let me tell you a quick gimmick, right?
Yeah.
It was Haku, Jim Crockett, Robert Gibson, his tag partner.
Okay.
And I think maybe the Bar. I think it was Haku and Bar versus them, and Jim Crockett was there. And so after the match, Haku not happy with the situation. So he in the back in the locker rooms, and Don was going the ring, this and that, and Don ain't do what he's supposed to. So Don comes in there and decide to get brave and start bumping his gums to Haku. Yeah, exactly. Haku. All right. So
we know about Haku because everyone in the business respects that man for a reason.
And that's another reason when he was one of the other ones I idolized, not idolized, but favored in my likings of wrestlers.
Sure.
But, so his situation is tensing up in the locker room. I got a fifth of Hennessy, right? So I see Haku about to get up out of his seat. I was like, here you go, Haku, here. I gave him the Henny. Bro, he sat back down, turned the bottle up like it was a bottle of Gatorade. Right there, I knew somebody could turn up some Hennessy like that and don't have a Henny face after they bring it down. That's a type of guy you don't want to mess with, bro.
No.
And it ain't just turn up, bring it down. It was turn up at least a 10-second hold.
Turn up and stay up. Now, now this is another question.
That's how I diffused the situation. That was the point of the matter. That's how I diffused Haku from smacking down West.
See, when you say that diffuse the situation, if you put Henny in me, now we have a situation. I think I'm brave.
I like your style.
That's why I don't drink Hennessy anymore, because I used to get in trouble. I used to run my mouth. That's good stuff.
I stay Henny few. With or without the Henny, I'm Henny go.
Do you ever do the Henny and Hypnotic? That was the big thing when I was
back in the day, the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, I like to mix my Henny, man. That Hypnotic was too sweet. It kind of did me dirty on recovery nights. You know what I'm saying?
Back in my youngin' days, I used to. That's what we would drink because everyone wanted to drink the Hennessy. We're like, well, put some Hypnotic in, and you got this cool looking drink.
Yeah, it was a good drink. It's them creeper drinks.
Because it creeps up on you?
They creep up on you.
So after you left APWA, I mean, look, I know that you spent some time with Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, but, I've seen you popped up in AIWF. And obviously, Ohio Valley, they still call, you're still on that roster page. You're still very much a part of that show. But where did you bounce around and how did you get your way?
After APWA, Will Huckabee, you heard of him?
Oh yeah, he's been on this podcast a couple years ago.
So I'm still green. I'm still green now, even though I know what I know and elevated to where I'm at. I'm gonna always be green because I'm always open for knowledge. You see what I'm saying? I'm always green. So, but Will Huckabee, he was at APWA and he saw me and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna take you up here in Charleston, Marmet, West Virginia, at Mega Pro Wrestling, which I hold the championships for. owner, John Cooper, out of Marmet, West Virginia, down that way. And that's when I met up with the elusive one, Eric Darkstorm.
Okay, yeah.
He was the mega heavyweight champion at the time. And Will Huckabee brought me there. And I take it back. TJ Phillips took me to Mega Pro Wrestling because he was helping me train out of Shinston along with Justin Case that used to run with the Iron Sheik. And TJ Phillips took me up to Mega Pro Wrestling. That's when I met Will Huckabee, and that's when I met the elusive one, Eric Darkstorm, and everything. And so we was working. I had to work Will Huckabee, had a good match with him, and he put me under his wing, and he introduced me to Lawrence, to DAWG.
Okay, yeah.
And everything. And so Lawrence and I became connected, and that's how I've been. I supposed to have been back at DAWG, but the government want to trick the world, society out their spots with their little schemes and rotten plans, all of the COVID situation and things. It threw a damper on stuff,
Yeah.
So when they did lift the COVID situation, they were only dealing with locals at the time, bringing local talent in because they didn't want to bring their outsiders in because, again, the government untricked society mental. You know what I'm saying? So now they just want to make sure that everybody that's local could come in instead of having that outsider. And if an outsider come in, they fretful of COVID. Richard Nixon, right? You like that? Richard?
So when you, obviously you just name dropped a couple of really solid guys there. We earlier were talking about Onyx, but then you brought up Will Huckabee. Mm-hmm. Will Huckabee is a former World Wrestling Grand Prix champion for Dangerous General Wrestling. Gladiator.
Yep, sure is.
Now, did you guys ever have any matches? You guys go back in the day?
Me and Will?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he ended up taking me up under his wing and bringing me to DAWG. Because my first, not my first, but a few matches I had after at Mega, I ended up having to wrestle Will. And we had an ongoing situation with us there, a little storyline, work, angles. And then he just took me up to DAWG. And then, we went down from DAWG from New Jersey all the way down to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Out there for AWE and everything. So after that, we went there. We went to, he brought me down to North Carolina. I owe Will some love because he put me under the wing and took me on the road with him. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I was working at DAWG constantly. And then we had to shoot to New Jersey, not from New Jersey to Atlanta for the show Sunday. So it's like as soon as we get done wrestling for Lawrence, we right in the vehicle, hit the Wawas to get gas and food, straight to Atlanta.
That's a drive, man. You guys do that one night?
One night. We split it. Well, his significant lady friend that he was with at the time, I don't know if he currently rocking with him or not, but at the time it was the three of us.
Yeah.
So he'll start out, I go to sleep, Ape will get in the boat, she'll start driving, and then I cross the finish line.
Wow.
So that's from New Jersey to Atlanta was probably like 14 hours, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. And that's like as soon as we get done with Lawrence, we're not getting out of New Jersey actually to the throughway till at least midnight, maybe.
Yeah.
Because when we got out of there, we was getting done about 10:15.
Yeah.
People clearing out, socializing. Lawrence come back with the envelopes. We still changing. We got to sign autographs. The people stop us, take photos.
Yeah.
To the vehicle, to Wawa's, to the highway. I'm a true road Rory. I'm just gonna say it. And like the road, bro. I got bookings. I'm there.
Out of curiosity, just for shits and giggles, where are you at now? Like where's your base? Because I know you work for Ohio Valley, and that's not on the East Coast. That's in Kentucky. Where are you at right now?
As far as like in my house or
like where are you based out of? Like what
I'm
direction?
born and raised. Niagara Falls, New York.
Okay.
716.
Because not that I'm not an influencer, right? I'm not Logan Paul. I don't have any influence at all. But like there's I don't know if you're familiar with Dave Marquez and Gotham Wrestling that's coming to New York.
Yeah.
And
I heard of him.
I'm saying maybe just throw your name in the hat, see what happens. That's a guy that I think a lot highly of.
Everything black with me. I'm always gothic.
I'm a next time I talk to Dave, I'll be like, you got to check this guy out. If you don't know, you should know. Because
yeah, man.
I'm
a hustler, baby. You can't go wrong with a hustler. A hustler like to work and get it. Let's get it.
So driving to New York City, not a big deal? Just out of curiosity?
Hell no. I got family in Brooklyn.
There you go.
I have family in Brooklyn.
So on the nights that you're working for Ohio Valley, you driving back to Kentucky for these events? Or are you staying out there for a few days? Or how does that work?
Hey, why? It all depends. If we got a show Thursday and pay-per-view fall, which is a Saturday, yeah, I stay out there. I'll be out there TV Thursdays, and then, like I said, our PPVs is on Saturday. I just stay the whole weekend and then bail out on a Sunday.
How do you like working for Ohio Valley, working with Al Snow? And, I know EC3 stops in there every now and then, and there's a lot of Ohio Valley towns that have appeared for the NWA. What are your thoughts on OVW?
I mean, how many people get to work for Al Snow?
Not many.
How many people get to get coached by the greatest tag, one half of the greatest tag teams in the industry, Doug Basham? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a big up for me. You know what I'm saying? It was a privilege. I followed him and everything, and I always wanted to get out there. But God work. It's God timing is how I move, son.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, God's timing. So wherever God's blowing, that's where I'm going. And how we end up getting there, because Amazing Maria James.
Yeah.
She's a great individual, man. And but me and Darkstorm at the time, we were working for Gangrel at GWA down in Miami.
As I say, that's in Florida. I know Gangrel's out in Florida.
Yeah. So we was down there for the whole year working with Gang. He a hell of a dude, man. Dave Heath I love him. But we started spreading Dark Clouds madness throughout FLA, and they was picking up on it. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
Maria hit up Dark, and Dark, whatever the politics was with that at the time, told us that we had a debut tryout with OVW on the 8th of July back then. And we went up there and did what we did, and Al and Coach took us in. And it just been popping ever since then. You know what I'm saying? And to know what I know now, coming out through the indies to TV, it's two different levels of the ball game, Bob.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because in the indies, you could do whatever. You think you're this artist, and you really don't understand less is more. And when you hear less is more from veterans, you're like, less is more. Okay. You hear it, but you don't really understand it. And when it's coming from veterans that pave the way for artists as myself and Darkstorm and a whole bunch of others, when you get the TV and Al Snow and Doug Basham and Jesse Morris and Amazing Maria, and then the team that we had out there, the help, and Tony Gunn and Jesse Goddard, which have you heard of Jesse Goddard?
Yeah, Mr. Pectacular.
Mr. Pectacular, that's my boy. When you have that type of lineup and you coming from indies to TV and they grooming you and showing you, you can't be wrong. So then you understand what less is more when it comes to TV, because it's not about the moves anymore. It's not about wrestling. It's about character work. It's about how you work that camera. We know where the camera, you hear it through the innings, the hard cam over here. Okay. So what? I move like this to the hard. No. It's all about less is more, believe me, positioning, timing. You see what I'm saying? Knowing who you are. In TV structure, you really have to use your mental. Indies, you just do whatever the hell you want. We call that Gamsey before they started saying Gamsey. I'm the one who put the word Gamsey out there. Understand me? You can ask Will Huckabee, you can ask Ape, you can ask Darkstorm. It was back when I started and Cass was making me. I said, we're going to call these dudes Gamsey. Well, they said, what's Gamsey? I said, get all my shit in. That's what Gamsey means.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I mean,
I started that word Gamsey. Ain't nobody come up with that terminology. Then now I see people putting, I saw an artist put a Gamsey down the side of one of their outfits. You know what I'm saying? And if you know where Gamsey is and you seen them on their outfit, you know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to call no name. But if they got a problem with it, see me when you see me. I ain't hard to find.
I know exactly who you're talking about. And
all right.
He's proud of that.
The vanilla gorilla. There's only one gorilla. Him, the hustler, Gorilla Gang, me. That's it.
So, okay. So all this to say, like, one thing I do know about television is you got to be open to being produced. You got to be open to changes to that gimmick, tweaks and changes to it. And I'm assuming, because you're still in Ohio Valley, you didn't have a problem with them, tweaking the gimmick a little bit, tweaking the style a little bit.
But they didn't tweak us. You know, because Dark Clouds, that needs to be a shirt. Which one?
I think probably the Get My Shit In shirt.
The Gamsey.
The
Gamsey. Because what we bring to the ring, I'm from the streets.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm bringing the streets to the ring, but in a dumbed down fashion, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm going to tell you this. Don't rub me the wrong way. Tread me lightly. Make sure you do what we talked about, if we talk about it, or if we call it on the fly. Just don't cause me to have to, what you say when we use wrestling terminology, shoot on you.
Right.
Because when I shoot on you, that's when it really becomes really real, and I'm really going to have to do what I really have to do.
I'm guessing a guy built like you doesn't get. I don't think people are willing to take liberties with a guy like you. I don't think that's a smart business
you got a couple
decision.
Wise guys. You see me? I had to hit one a couple times or two in the ring, smarten them up. On pay-per-view and even in the indies market. You know what I'm saying? But it's all fair and game. You know what you did. I'm from the old school, man. You do something foolish or dumb in the ring, they finna smarten you up real quick. Get you in the wear down. Now, are you ready to work or you want to keep it up?
Did you ever see that? And they were both past their prime, but it was Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Matt Bourne, the original Doink the Clown. They were both probably in their, I want to say, late 50s, and they started working the match. And Duggan, I guess, still had some animosity to Matt Bourne, and it turned into a shoot.
Shot on him.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking. Yeah.
That all I can picture now is someone trying to get smart with you, and you're like, don't do it.
I mean, bro, one thing I do tell people in the back is if I'm doing a big move where I got to take you off your feet, don't sandbag me. Because regardless of the fact, if you sandbag me, I'm still taking you. And when I land you, you ain't going to like the landing.
No. I get that.
So word to the wise, if you got any upcoming thoughts of wanting to get in the square circle, I'm a good guy, like Chucky. Just don't piss me off. You sandbag me, I'm still taking you, but you won't like your landing. I'm not going to break none, but you're going to feel the pain.
I'm guessing that doesn't happen too often to you, though.
No, but when it does, Darkstorm love it, because when I tell him, I say, yo, it don't matter. You still going. Don't sand. I'm still taking you, regardless of the fact. I'm taking you.
Has there been somebody in the scene who has tested you that, like, if you don't want to mention a name, that's fine. Don't.
I'm going to set in there because ain't no sucker going to do nothing to me, bub. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I did have to smart and share up in the ring during
Just
the
one
Rumble
time?
at OVW. Huh?
Just one time?
Just one time. That's all it took.
That's all it takes.
I mean, he did what he did after I put him in the corner, and I'm gloating, getting my showman on.
Yeah.
And he snuck me in the temple. Almost weakened me. So I turned around and died him in his joint. Wow. Now he want to play possum. Oh, wait a minute. Nah, son. You did what you did. Here come that smoke. You don't want that smoke? Act right.
You start writing those receipts.
Yeah. I'm going to write them. I'm going to write them. Definitely. I mean, I'm a peaceful dude. But if you try to step on my Timberlands, son, I got to get at you. You know what I mean?
So that's the worst case scenario. What about the best case scenarios? What are the guys that you've had really good matches with that you like, that you put over? If someone who doesn't know you, you're saying like, hey, this is me, come watch my stuff. Which matches would you tell them to check out?
My matches with Matt Stryker, my matches with Barbarian. But so you never understand, I'm working with people that knows the game. Myron Reed, oh my God. And that was in a tag match with him and Zach against us, Darkstorm and I. But Myron, oh my God, that match was bananas. And it was supposed to have been with Snoop, but Snoop could something went wrong with Snoop Matt flight to where it put Zach in the match. That's the character, the superhero character over at OVW.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I first met Zach with Myron. But Myron Reed, bro, oh my God, he's an animal in the ring. Like, besides my nephew, Javon Evans, a Sky Flyer outside of Cam, Myron, oh man, that dude, Myron Reed is an animal when it comes to that.
Did you just say Javon Evans is blood?
Yeah, man, that's the nephew.
Okay, I watch NXT every once in a while, but I watched that Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
Holy shit, did he look great?
Yeah, man. Listen, that little boy, I love him. He was down at Firestar there in Greensboro and everything. That's where he got his grooming at, right there with LeBron Colzone. And that's another thing, when outside of Atlanta, Will Huckabee took me down to Firestar Pro Wrestling out of Greensboro, Carolina. And I went from there, met a couple guys there, and they took me over to NRLL, New Revolution, Lucha Libre. Carlos Romero down there in Greensboro was wrestling there. And they had this, I would think it was Cinco de Mayo, I think, at the time. And they was having this huge festival at the Greensboro Coliseum. And the wrestling was there, bro. And honestly, and that was probably like in the first 2 to 3 years of me wrestling, the biggest crowd I ever saw. But I ain't have a problem with being in crowds because I just open up for Nappy Roots. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
When audience is an audience, you see what I'm saying? Regardless the size of them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when they put me in that Greensboro Coliseum and I'm walking through the halls and I'm seeing flashbacks of the introduction of wrestling when it used to come on and how they used to be in the Greensboro Coliseum and how they had the cameras and the wrestlers walking through the hallway, going to the ring. Bro, I just got goosebumps when they said it was like we at the Greensboro Coliseum. I said, what? So in my mind, I'm feeling extra special right now. I'm about to wrestle where the ones that taught me this madness did their thing, and I'm here doing it. So when you walk through, you see pictures of Dusty Rhodes. You see pictures of Hulk Hogan. You see pictures of Ricky Steamboat, Macho Man, as you walking through the halls and stuff, and Ric Flair and all of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, in my mind, because I'm a student of the game, I was just absorbing everything in at the moment. Like when I say absorbing, meaning I'm thanking God that I'm able to walk through the same halls as the ones that did what they did for us. You see me?
Yeah. So like I tell people, like, I have holy grails of places that I want to see wrestling, right? I'm a fan. So I've been fortunate enough, like I got to go to the Grand Olympic Auditorium out here in LA before it became a church. I got to go to Arena Mexico in Mexico City for CMLL.
Right.
I got to go to the 2300 Arena out there in Philly. the home of ECW. I got to do
Yes,
that.
sir.
It wasn't ECW then, but it still counts.
Yeah,
And
it matters.
I haven't done
All
Madison.
wrestling matters.
That's right. I haven't done Madison Square Garden yet. That's on the list. And
MSG?
of course, yeah,
I
of
haven't
course.
been wrestling at MSG either.
Where have your like holy grail moments been? You just mentioned the Coliseum. Oh, and then Center Stage in Atlanta was pretty cool too. That was significant for me.
Yeah, it was. Well, honestly, Robert Gibson and them, when AEW had started, we had to pick them up from the airport, and that's how me and Darcy. This was before the COVID kicked in. I had my little stint with Chris Jericho in the backstage, but when we got involved with them, and Ring of Honor was now migrating with them, and I knew the driver and everything, made friends with them at ROH because we was doing stuff there, even though we didn't dance, but we was doing angle work, Darkstorm and I. But being able to be in the Coliseums that AEW traveled that we had to report to for that year, I probably say I seen over at least 72 different, probably 80 different Coliseums, bro. Too many to name. But my favorite is in Indiana, where they got we was at, I think, the fairgrounds, that Coliseum right there, where they got the Garfield, the little animated characters on the outside and everything. I got pictures in my archives and stuff, but out of all of them, that was my favorite because I was a huge fan of Garfield. And they had all these characters outside there in Indiana, man. So, but I gotta give it to Greensboro due to the fact that was one of my first Coliseums that basically touched with me being in the business. You see what I'm saying? So that Greensboro Coliseum, Bob. And then we've been in the Bojangles. Bojangles was nice right there in Charlotte. Okay. And that was when we was running around with AEW at the time. Doing, like I said, we was doing a little angle work. We had a few appearances in the backstages with angles that they was running and needed people and everything. So at the time when I was down there with AWE, I was supposed to wrestle QT there, but they ended up signing paperwork, AEW, Cody Rhodes and all of them at the time, so he had to report there and everything. So that killed my match with QT, but QT was coming up the BGW up there in West Virginia and ran into him and Mega Pro Wrestling and talk with him, and we ended up getting he ended up putting us through to get a dark match. But when we went and had that ladder match, I think it was maybe, or either it was just a regular tag match against the Fanny Pack Party, Dustin Jackson and Kel Hero. Yeah. Darkstorm went for a dive out the ring, and something went wrong and it messed his back up. So that like killed us to go do our dark match and everything. So, it happens. It's part of it is what it is, but I'm still blessed to be able to still truck.
Well, and you're trucking on June 28th.
June 28th.
Riverton, New Jersey, All-American Bash, the Sacred Heart Church.
Yes, sir.
What's your assignment? Like, I see you on the poster. I know
my assignment, Jay, my assignment in anywhere I go in the square circle is to beat up your favorite wrestler. That's my assignment. To fuck up your favorite wrestler.
My favorite wrestler is Dave Dahl. Please kill him.
Well, I think is that the one, the Flag Boy or some boy?
Flag Boy. Wait, hold on. That poor kid. He's got to face you.
Me. I'm going to have a field day with that character.
He got a big mouth.
I heard. I got a big fist.
I saw him recently in one of the Rowan shows because I followed DAWG very closely, and their event in Rowan at Rowan University, and he didn't make some smart decisions in that situation.
Well, I mean, he done tangled with the with the rest. And now I guess it's time for him to come in the jungle and see what he could do with this gorilla.
So Kikuchi.
Oh, I'm gonna take him to the street. Cause you ain't gotta worry about that. It's all street when you approach me, son.
I know. See, now I feel bad because, like, Connor had a promising future. He was an up and comer for DAWG. I don't think he's gonna walk out of this match alive.
It ain't the bark in the dog; it's the what in the dog.
I love it, man. I love it.
Hey,
So
I'm a different type of species, son.
Well, like I'm genuinely concerned for the safety and well-being of this young man because I don't think he knows what he's getting into.
Just don't sandbag me.
I hope he's watching and keeps his mouth shut. Yes, sir, Mr. Deget. Yes, sir.
Just, all you gotta do is listen. Just listen.
Wise man said, you go in the back, keep your mouth shut and your ears open, and listen.
There you go. Just listen, and give me a kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I got it. I got you. So, I mean, this is coming up on June 28th, which is just a couple of weeks away.
Can I get some ice, please? Yes, sir.
And that's your return to Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators.
Adrenaline Wrestling, yes. Gladiators. It's the return of the hustler, baby. Been a long time coming, and I've been waiting, and I can't wait to get back. You heard, dog?
It's a bit of a homecoming for you. Now, what else is up on the schedule? What's going down
on
for
the schedule? Well, Dark Cloud's got to attack on some dude named Kevin P. and Heath Slater this weekend, and then we trickle over to 14th somewhere, wrestle some fake outlaw cowboy. I don't know. It don't really matter. All we're gonna do is hog tie him up and put him over the roaster, bub. But that's where we at right now. Then the 28th, I believe we back down at WWN Proving Ground and everything. So that's where we at.
This has been a lot of fun, and I do appreciate you hanging out. I've got your Insta, your Facebook, your X. It's all in the chat. It's where else can people follow you? Where else can they check you out? Do you have a YouTube? Do you have a where can they watch you?
All you got to do is put in Deget Bundlez Internet Movie Database. Just put in Google me. That's all you need to do, and it'll all come up.
I think that's
DET Bundles.
I think that's the next T-shirt right there. Just Google me, damn it.
Just Google me. Yeah, I mean, and the next thing you know, you're gonna hear people taking my words and put it on their show. You know what I mean?
Well,
just Google me.
They stole your GMSI, so I mean, why not?
Hey, yeah, you know, and no, they don't have that creative mind. But one real quick, I see you got that little Star Wars monster back there. I like that.
Yeah, I like Legos, and I'm a 47-year-old man, and my wife said go ahead, so I started buying shit.
Yeah,
that I don't necessarily need. Like I got Voltron. I've got.
That's what I tell the kid. I said, listen, the first real robot was Voltron.
Yeah,
Forget Power Rangers. They like Voltron. I'm like, yeah, look up Voltron. You see lions.
What you got to do? You just put it on the TV and let the kids see it. Because I mean, my kid, I got all girls, right? I got all girls at home, and my oldest, she's a bit of a tomboy, so she would anything dad watched, she would watch wrestling, watch baseball, Voltron, Transformers, all that good stuff. And no Power Rangers in this house. We do it right. Thundercats, Silverhawks.
Right, I'm listening to you, Dad. My man, I got us going on live right here on Facebook. My man Adam and Pike, he put a gorilla up. He know what Gorilla Gang is, right? He know what
I think that's the next shirt. Kikuchi in the chat said, I heard Connor doesn't like gorillas.
That sounds racist to me.
Oh, look, I'm not saying this. That's Kikuchi.
I'm just saying. But listen, though. Listen. Because I say gorilla, okay. Let's be grown. Okay. Can we be grown for a minute, people? Let's talk to intellectual minds. Just because I call myself a gorilla and the words that they use in past tense times, which they may still use now because racism will never go nowhere because that's a personal preference for people.
Yeah.
I'm not being racist. For one, how could I be racist calling myself a gorilla when I'm black? Now, again, can we be grown and let me talk to intellectual minds that understand? They don't have peaky blinders on and got a wide view of life. You see me?
Yeah.
So when I say gorilla, What's a gorilla? A gorilla is one of the most intelligent species on God's earth, for one. 2, a gorilla is very aggressive. 3, gorilla gang. Me. Aggressive intelligence. Now, again, that leads me back to what I asked you. Can we be grown and talk intelligence, intellectual
Always.
to those that understand? Because I got an aggressive intelligence. No, I might not give you proper terminology. Then again, I might flip the page and give you proper terminology. Then I flip the page. As long as you understand where the fuck I'm coming from, that all that matters. Principle made.
So, not for nothing, I think aggressive intelligence is another very solid T-shirt choice. We came up with 3 shirts just on this podcast, so it's time to get that pro wrestling tees going.
But yeah, man. So but real quick. Oh,
Real
he's
quick.
facts. Yeah, that's all I do. It's no need to talk if you don't have facts, say. Yeah, I mean, if you don't know facts, shut up until you know the facts. Why talk?
That's right.
Then you just talking to talk. So then I'm listening to you and I'm hearing you. Now I'm feeling like you only like hearing yourself speak. You're talking just to talk. Where the facts at it then? Give me principal points. Let's deal with the bullets. And it's crazy because that's how I talk to some of the cats in the locker room. Let's stick to the bullets. I don't care about nothing else. What's the bullet points of this match? Give me the bullet points. We'll work around everything as long as we get to these bullet points. That all that matters. And that's what I'm saying. Less is more. And when cats learn psychology and know what they want out of a match, you know your skill sets, you know your attributes, you know what you want to do. Just put it in right places. That's it. But they don't know how. They don't know how to get over it. So what they do? Gamsey shit. Hey.
No, I mean, you're Soto said it, man. You're spitting facts. Like, wrestling doesn't have to be chess, man. It's very simple. It is.
That's what I said.
Tell a story.
Give me a kiss. I be saying that to the young cats that I know that be scared to get in the ring with me, or me and Darkstone when we tagging. I be like at them. They be trying to say all of this. I look at them like, yo, man, just give me a kiss. I lick my lips too. All right, give me a kiss.
And they're looking at you like, I don't know what to
see their face.
I don't know what to do,
They
man.
look at me, I'm just like, yo, man, just keep it simple, stupid. And like, oh, yeah, oh, no homo. No disrespect. You understand? Keep it simple, stupid. Give me a kiss. And when I say kiss, you know what image pop up in my head?
What's that?
The group KISS lettering, how they use KIZZ.
Yeah,
That's what pops up in my head. So just so y'all know, when I say give me a kiss, I'm not saying literally kiss me. Okay, fellas? Okay,
Hey,
man.
Hey, man,
Just
it's
keep it
2025. It's all right to put that disclaimer out there, man. I feel you. It's all good.
Just keep it simple. That's all we got to do, man. We're going to make the best out of it. I tell them, anybody that talk to you and let you know, when you wrestle Buns, before we go out to that ring, he going to say, be safe and let's make a movie.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Be safe and let's make a movie.
This has been a very enjoyable 58 minutes. And
keeping it that long, haul?
Yeah, man. And I'm just
the Yankees game.
Well, and I don't want to keep you any longer. I do appreciate you.
With you, bro.
Well, I mean, look, the Angels already played the Athletics, so I don't get to watch that. It already happened. But
yeah, we got Kansas City tonight. They didn't finish the Boston trial too well, but we got Boston again this weekend in Boston. So,
well, look, the only team I hate more than the Texas Rangers is the Boston Red Sox. So please,
fist bump, virtual fist bump. There we go. Podcast bump.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna say, first of all, thank you for hanging out with us for the last hour.
I'm gonna shoot you my math on DM so we be straight, because I don't get notifications on my social media. I got them shut off.
That's
so the only way I know is somebody reaching out to me if I decide to go there and look. But I'm gonna shoot you my math for it personally, so that way you got to direct to me. You dig?
Awesome. And like I said, we'll put this out. This is going to be out on YouTube. It's on YouTube right now, but it'll also be up on Spotify and all that good stuff. And then, of course, best of luck on all the upcoming bookings. But of course, on June 28th, I mean, it's Connor the Flag Boy. So like, you don't need luck, but travel safe and get there safe and all that good stuff.
did.
And
Real quick before we get up,
yeah, man.
AIWF had a television championship. Same color as the NWA.
Oh, yeah.
I went direct. They wanted me to put me in for the heavyweight championship. And I said, nope. I want that red television championship. I want to go for that. And you know why I aimed for that? Who was the greatest television champion at the time?
You gonna tell me Arn Anderson, right?
Fucking right. You nailed it. That's why.
I was like, there's a couple of choices, but when I think of this title,
Arn Anderson,
and I think of Arn Anderson, the red strap, and
Yeah.
just like you said, the silver belt with the red and the red trim, the red strap.
Yeah, that was it.
One more story, then I'll let you go. I have to tell you this one because this is my pride and joy here. So when the NWA was on COVID hiatus, they had their TV champion was Zicky Dice. Zicky Dice beat Ricky Starks to win the title. Yeah, and they wanted to take the belt off of him during COVID, so they came down to Southern California. They did this whole series called Primetime Live, and Zicky Dice wrestled against the Pope for the belt.
I was just with Pope 2 months ago.
I love that guy. He's one of my favorite guys to hold this belt.
Pope a trip.
And the belt that they used for that match. I have that belt, and it's beat the hell up, right? It's rough, but it's so pretty.
Yeah, it is.
And I love it so much. And this is the belt that the Pope won from Zicky Dice on Primetime Live. It's a replica. They didn't have the real thing, but it was in the ring. It was used, and I love it.
Yeah, that I'm telling you, when I found out that they had a television championship and I seen the coloration of it and what they was emulating, I said, "Oh yeah, I don't want no heavyweight. I want that TV championship. I'm coming for it." And when I won it, I felt like I was Arn Anderson, baby.
Did you throw up the 4? Did you do it?
Nah, I didn't throw up the 4. But
did you slice the throat?
Good. Yeah, that's it. Done. But I did get up with JJ Dillon was out at DAWG one time and I called him, but I did do the 4 with him.
That's
JJ
dope.
Dillon. Yeah. I got photos of that. Like I didn't even know he was gonna be there. When we pulled up, Huck and I said, JJ Dillon. And he even complimented my match. And now the whole time I didn't even notice he was there, bub. Until I got done with my match and came back out around to go to concessions, and I said, JJ Dillon. I said, it's 4 Horsemen, JJ Dillon. He started smiling, yo.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Go watch the Yankees, and hopefully they beat up those Royals. And
I like to come out to California and beat up some of the West Coast players too.
If I hear that they're looking for anybody, I always like to plug names in. You know, Dave Marquez out there in New York. I'm like, hey man, here's some names. I gave him a list. Your name was on there.
I appreciate the love, Si.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a good one, man. Take care.
You have a blessed salute. Beat on your chest one time for me, Gorilla Gang.
Yeah, we can do that. See, I'm repping DAWG. I can.
Beat on your chest, Gorilla Gang.
Gorilla Gang. All right, brother. You have a good night, and
blessed one.
And good luck on the 28th. And we'll close it there. See you guys at the matches. Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.